My husband and I are not South African. We're both multi-generational African American, but we have been visiting South Africa consistently for over a decade, over 10 years. We have fallen in love. We made some really meaningful connections.
As an American who just moved to Kenya, something I'm getting used to is
I wouldn't go back. Out for $100 an hour job. I wouldn't go back.
Interesting.
I would not go back at all.
I'm Black American living in South Africa. Of course, life is easier when you're not a visible minority.
Africans, for the most part, do not view you as their sister or brother if you are not immersed in the culture or you have no knowledge of the culture. They view you as a white person.
So I switched up my train trips for a 16-hour journey to Kenya with one question. Why is it important for Black Americans to visit African countries?
The question I get asked most about building a home in South Africa is, do we have relatives in South Africa? My husband and I are not South African. We're both multi-generational African American, which means that our great-grandparents' 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 great-grandparents were born in the Americas and came to America via the transatlantic slave trade. But we have been visiting South Africa consistently for over a decade, over 10 years. And we've gone to many cities. We stayed many weeks. We have fallen in love. We made some really meaningful connections. And some people that we know have migrated here from the United States and have decided to retire here. And that is really how we got started on our, building a home in South Africa journey.
As an American who just moved to Kenya, something I'm getting used to is time here is a suggestion. When you say you want to meet someone, even if it's something serious, you say 4, they hear 7. I'm used to, being late. I'm used to, in the U.S., Black people were late all the time, but not for business meetings or here, Kenyans, you take it to a whole new level. And I'm Kenyan still. I was born here. Lakini I haven't lived here as an adult. Hey, you guys are playing with time.
I wouldn't go back. Out for $100 an hour job. I wouldn't go back.
Interesting.
I would not go back at all. Getting up in the morning, doing what you have to do, and rushing to go and punch the clock to make somebody else rich. You get to decide what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, how you're going to do it. And us, we work really hard. So it pays off because we're working for ourselves instead of giving all our energy and everything to somebody else to make them rich so they can live a good life. In the U.S., we're kind of groomed to be an employee, work for someone.
Like my friend said, he is in Ohio. He said, I have tried four times and I have to go back.
Really?
Yeah, 4 times. He said, man, I wish I can do it. Everybody wanted to come home. About 90%. Who wanted to get up in the morning and go and clock and, stress? Yeah, no. Everybody wanted to come home, but they're scared that when they get home, the money will get finished and then they have to go back. When you are in overseas, you might think that people like you, family members love you. But when you come here and stay, their attitude is different. Yeah, I think Ghana is expensive. Ghana is not what you think. When you convert the money to dollars, you might think that it's not expensive, but the money runs like river. So when you come and think that Ghana is cheap and you are coming to spend your money, like United States, you can't last. You will go back. Now, I don't think about to become a millionaire. I just want to live my simple life. If I can buy something, whatever I want, I can buy it. I'm okay. I don't want to be a millionaire. No, I don't.
I'm Black American living in South Africa. Of course everyone greets me in isiZulu. I'm a Black American living in South Africa. Of course people always ask me where I'm actually from. I'm Black American living in South Africa. Of course, life is easier when you're not a visible minority. I'm a Black American living in South Africa. Of course, people look like a deer in headlights when I open my mouth and start speaking English. I'm Black American living in South Africa. Of course, non-Black South Africans act differently towards me when they find out I'm American. I'm a Black American living in South Africa. Of course, I've been asked how many inkomo, how many cows.
I just watched a video about this guy who said, I couldn't stitch it, but that they are unaliving Americans in Africa. Now, we moved our family from America to Turkey. Before moving to Turkey, we invested in Africa. It's extremely dangerous, and I feel like irresponsible to just tell people all Americans should just go back home to Africa. When I post stuff, a lot of people get upset and they say, oh, she's generalizing. I'm not generalizing. I've had the same experience more than 10 times or in multiple countries on the continent. It's not a generalization at this point. Now, it is important to note, Africans, for the most part, do not view you as their sister or brother if you are not immersed in the culture or you have no knowledge of the culture. They view you as a white person. They view you as a white person, but they don't give you the same respect that they give because a lot of them worship their colonizers. Now, don't Akata, Obroni, it's the same thing. There is an entire mindset shift that has to happen, and it probably will not happen in our lifetime. It'll probably happen in our children's lifetime. You cannot move from America to any country and come and flash your wealth and think that people are not going to mark you as a target. And I think when we talk about like the return home and all of this return to Africa, like propaganda, don't talk about the fact that they will hear your accent and automatically cha-ching, start calculating how many dollars they can get from you. And this is not to say that this is only for Americans. It is even for Africans who have been raised in America, born in America, and they come home. It is no longer home. It is home in a sense of you get this nostalgic feeling when you go home. But I really need people to understand that the moment you leave your country, things change. When you return home, you are no longer on the same level mentally as your counterparts that you left in your home country. There are moms who have left Jamaica to work and send money back home to their kids only to come home and be set up by their children. I think it's extremely dangerous to tell people to enter the expat lifestyle and you are not mentally preparing them for the shift that has to happen.
8 days, 11 BIPOC travelers, one epic trip to Kenya with Intrepid Travel and No Madness Travel Tribe. Hey, I'm Sojourner, and like many Black American travelers, I love learning about the African diaspora through travel. So I switched up my train trips for a 16-hour journey to Kenya with one question. Why is it important for Black Americans to visit African countries?
To see your roots, where you come from, what you have, and we are here with our open hands, welcoming you back.
As Black Americans, we built a culture for ourselves in the U.S. in spite of all that has and continues to happen to us. And while we may not be directly connected to our African ancestry, our guide Patrick's laughter reminded me of my uncle at a family cookout. Jen and Helen's vibrant personalities and love of community reminded me of my mom. And the drip. The drip is endless, colorful, handmade, and as creative as we are. Black people around the world are the blueprint, and it's a privilege to experience our people and places as I travel.
And I'm speaking of Black people, but really this could be applicable to anybody. And I'm saying this at a time where a lot of Americans are starting to think about leaving America. A lot already have, but especially right now, more people are starting to think about leaving. And I am begging you to leave capitalism here. America isn't just bad because of racism. I know that racism might be the thing that you feel the most tangibly. Racism is an arm of capitalism, which came from colonialism. Leave capitalism here. If you're leaving, leave to start new. I'm specifically looking at African Americans who are moving to African countries. And I'm just seeing colonists. We've got to understand what it is. We've got to call a spade a spade. It doesn't make you better because you're Black. We cannot just move in droves with no desire to connect to the countries we're moving to, just with the purpose to extract, just build for ourselves. You want to move to build a business for yourself. You want to move to invest for yourself. You're not moving to invest in the country. You're not moving to invest in the community there. You're moving to invest for yourself. What do we call that? We see that on a domestic level in the United States. I just moved back to Atlanta. I grew up around Atlanta. I'd always wanted to come back, and I came back to find that, like, the culture is being sucked out of here. Don't even get me started in the economy. I mean, people move here with no care about what was here before at all. And I know y'all have had to see that in other parts of America. So I'm not understanding how you can move to these other countries and do the same thing. Like, I'm already seeing videos about all this dissent from Ghanaians and Kenyans who are talking about how the American migrants there have, like, caused the economy to jump ×4. I need us to be critical, okay? This has to be bigger than you. Like, this has to be building a better world. Like, you can only aspire to be what the colonizers were. You can't think outside of that. You can't aspire bigger to that. And look, honestly, imagining a new world is hard. But I promise you, the countries that you move to, somebody's thought about it. Plug into what's there. Please, if you're looking at migrate with intention, and with the intention to connect to the community there. Instead of asking, like, what business can I start? What needs to be done there? Like, how can you bring your skills? Don't just become a new extractor. I can't get down with that. I don't want to be grouped in with y'all. Come on. And then it's like that road leads to nowhere. Capitalism eats itself. In the United States, we're witnessing late stage capitalism. That's what we're leaving. So you want to just go and create the whole cycle? You want to just go start the cycle in a whole new country? And it's okay because you look like them?